apart.
I
Thank
agree with
you
you.
for that. Yes, we do. And now, yes, we're totally with you and agree, and we appreciate that so much. And now we get to switch gears and talk about
Yes,
Bravo. So you get to
absolutely.
I mean, where do we begin with our
I know
Bravo?
where
I
to.
mean, there's so
Thank
much. But yes, yes to everything you said. I could not agree with it more. I am the
Yes.
actual Jewish person standing here. So I mean, it is a yes, I will. Yes, yes, and yes. Um, do we have to start with Kyle and Morgan Wade today? Do we
yes,
have to?
because I'm
Oh, these
curious
girls.
if Daniel Ryan thinks that we're queer baited or not. But Kyle did, obviously this past week, Morgan removed pictures of the selfies of she and Kyle together. And paparazzi caught up with Kyle this week in Beverly Hills. And Kyle says it's just because she's going to drop new music. A lot of artists do that. And that is why she's doing it. So I'm curious what you two think.
Well, in general, I have a hard time understanding lesbian dynamics, but I think I'm a little confused because I think Kyle is confused. I think that I'm not entirely sure about the dynamic between them. I think that maybe sometimes women end up in this sort of friendship that sort of blurs the line into romance. And I think it might be in sort of this gray, confusing space. But I do think that Kyle is not just platonically friends with her. Like, I do think that they have
Oh,
I absolutely the way she looks at her when she sings, and it's clear to me that there is definitely something going on there. But I don't know like how far it's gone. I don't know if she's necessarily aware of it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm just so over it. I really am just over this whole thing. I want this season of Beverly Hills to be over.
oh wow, really? You
One,
were into
well,
Merce in the purse
I'm
over
okay. Let
Barcelona?
me rephrase that. I'm into Merce in the Purse. I have some shocking things to say about Anne Marie coming up. I'm very into Drunk Erica.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Kyle's really aware of it. I think whether something has happened or not, I think she's in love with her. I saw that video last week or whatever with TMZ where she's like, she has new music coming out, she has a new project. Every artist does that. I mean, Madonna did do it. She scraped her entire Instagram for the celebration tour.
Oh, all right.
But I mean, give me a break, okay? Give me a break. I think these two know what they're doing. I think it's queer baiting. I think Kyle, like you said, I don't think she's aware of it. I think she's in love with her. And I just don't care anymore. I'm really over it. I would
Yeah.
rather talk about Kim and Croy, to be honest with you.
Oh my God, really? Oh,
Yes,
me too. Ugh.
anything.
Okay, look, I still can't figure
So
it out. I don't know. One day I think that they've hooked up. I do agree with you both that I think Kyle is in love with Morgan in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. We saw Nene Leakes do this. There's still rumors. I'm trying. I just talked to a source this like a couple days ago who says that producers are talking to Nene about RHOA. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that could be true, but Nene did the same thing with all her Bethany stuff and removed it, right? So maybe, but
And then it
I
was removed from Bethany's. Right. I guess like if you post it and tag the person and then you archive it, like Morgan archived it. So I guess it's still there. And then I guess it's removed from the other person's. I mean, by the way, I don't know what source or where you read this, but
yeah.
I
What do
do
you
not
think?
think, no, I don't think Nene Leakes can come back to RHOA. I just don't. By the way,
She's
she's heading to
a
Lifetime.
radio personality. Okay, okay, all right.
I don't know what's going on at Lifetime. Her and Denise Richards are in a new movie about like four killer housewives or something. Tom Sandoval has a Lifetime movie coming out. Ariana was in. I mean, Lifetime is just like, let me get a hold of these. But Nene Leakes in a scripted movie with Denise Richards. Sign me up. I mean, that
me
I'm gonna,
too.
right? Like,
Yeah.
good for Nene. I think she can work, and I think she just hosted, what was that, like Bad Girls Club reunion or some show that I don't really watch. I don't know who watches it, but good for Nene for getting work. But I just don't think it's going to be on Bravo on the Housewives. I really don't.
Yeah, it's a real tricky thing when an actress or an actor sues a network. That's really I've had friends fired from TV shows for being pregnant. And I told my friend, I was like, why wouldn't you sue them? And she was like, yeah, good luck. Like I'd never work again in this city. So I don't know. I think there's potential for Nene, especially in terms of creating something on her own.
That's what
I
we've
think
always
she's
said.
I think she's strong enough to carry her own show.
We've said the same thing, but when she was on Bethany's podcast, Nene is waiting for someone to come to her to produce that, to do that. Cause we said the same thing, like, launch your own podcast. Like, that's the beauty. You don't need anybody. You could be self-distributing. She'd have the #1 show. But it sounds to me like she either doesn't want to do that, doesn't know how to do that. She feels that a network, and she said she's been approached by many networks to launch her own podcast, and then at the end of it, or right before they're supposed to do a deal, nothing happens.
Right.
Well, the deal is not much. The deal is like prove yourself and then there'll be money.
It's
Mhm.
true. It's true.
That's how the
Yeah.
podcast world works.
What do you,
Mhm.
okay, but you had said something about Anne Marie. So Anne Marie Wiley was on Watch What Happens Live this week. A lot of people talking about her. Okay, well, what'd you think of that? I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. Andy asked her about the anesthesiologists of America commenting on her, which she thought was fake at first because she's like, why is this big organization commenting on my comments or my degrees? Then
Like,
the
welcome to
nurses
Housewives.
nurses of anesthesiologists stood up for her. So I thought that was like an interesting back and forth. And then she apparently says she doesn't want to hear the word esophagus ever again. And she has repeatedly apologized to Sutton. Thoughts?
Go on.
Okay, so I think that anytime a housewife enters mid-season, it's a very tricky thing. It could go one way or the other. Sonia, I believe, entered mid-season, huge success. Catherine entered mid-season, did not go well.
My buddy.
I love Catherine too. I
And
listened to
listen,
all of
she'll
her
be the
interviews.
first
Yeah.
one to say I sucked as a housewife, David. You know?
I
Oh.
think that she came in and tried to overcompensate and she overplayed her hand. We didn't get enough character building. We didn't get to like her. We didn't get to see some of her vulnerabilities. Usually, once we kind of like someone, then we can kind of accept them as being messy, a bit of a villain, a bit of a bitch. But I think that she came in wanting to impress Kyle, wanting to get in there. For me, she kind of ruined the dinner party from hell #2. Like, it was way too much about her. I would have been happier if they had paid a little more for Camille Grammer to be in this season, or allowed Denise, or, given Denise a couple more episodes. I would have preferred one of the existing women that we already know, as opposed to bringing in Anne Marie.
Camille.
Okay, go on.